Anime is popular for its ability to bring out a lot of emotions from its viewers, with joy, sadness, and everything in between. Today, we're going to focus on one emotion in particular, and that's raw rage. We're counting down the top 10 most emotional rage moments in anime that had the characters clenching their fists, gritting their teeth, and unleashing fury so raw it would make a volcano explode. Starting off our list hot with literal fire, we have Naofumi going berserk after Philo gets eaten by a zombie dragon. Naofumi is no stranger to anger in the series, with all the discrimination he's been through and the hate he receives from society. This time, he channels that hate into something personal, being overcome by it and unlocking his new formed rage shield. His eyes turn fiery red, and his shield ignites in flames. The demonic look in his smile made you want to run away in fear. It was a beautifully animated visual that made Naofumi turn from the most defensive hero into the strongest. Next up, we have the untouchable genius, Light from Death Note. Best known for his brilliant mind and perfect plans, Light had meticulously planned the demise of his pursuers and the freedom to continue his vigilante work as Kira. However, his plan unexpectedly fails when he is set up by Nier. The invincibility of being able to escape any situation with little intuition had finally been snatched from him. He runs, screams, and throws a tantrum like a cornered rat. It's almost touching to watch his breakdown, and you can feel the anger in his screams when he slowly realizes that there is no way out. The once untouchable Light is now in desperation. His maniac personality truly comes to light in one of the most chilling laughs in anime history, sending shivers down the spines of everyone in the room and even the fans watching. Light's rage was pretty scary to see, but it still doesn't top our number 8 spot. High School DD Born is known for its more tasteful scenes, but it also has many gut-wrenching moments where the pure-hearted main character unleashes his full rage whenever any of his friends are hurt. When Asa gets killed in hell by Beelzebub, it's a heartbreaking scene as Issei screams and cries in pain of his loss. Issei enters an incomplete form of Juggernaut Drive, reaching levels of power so crippling, his partner Drake warns Rias to leave the room immediately if she doesn't want to die. Issei destroys everything around him without a care of who is friend or foe. During the fight, he continues to boost in power, and Beelzebub stands absolutely no chance, being obliterated limb from limb. The Wrath Unleashed shows us how much Issei loves his friends, and the lengths he is willing to go for them in any situation. At number 7, we have an anime that's close to any gamer's heart, Sword Art Online. One notable mention is Yu-Gi-Oh!, Kirito's brother-in-arms. While he's trapped in the virtual world, Yu-Gi-Oh! Catches on to a troubling piece of news about his fellow trainees and hurries over to the administrator's chamber to check in on the nobles. He discovers the horrible things they are planning to do.
What is this?
Naturally, Yu-Gi-Oh! Steps up to save his friends, but is issued an order to not interfere. He can't attack them because of the Taboo Index, a programmed part of the world that physically stops anyone from breaking the law. Yu-Gi-Oh! Watches in agony as the nobles harass his friends. He turns full rage mode, defying the law, and breaks through the stiffness of his body's own programming. Cutting them down with his illuminated sword, he takes both their arms off and loses an eye in the process. This remarkable moment shapes his future adventures with Kirito and Alice. Having the courage to fight against his core functions, Yu-Gi-Oh! Definitely deserves a place on our list. This next one popped into people's minds as soon as they read the video title, Tanjiro versus the Upper Six Demon Gyutaro. Tanjiro has always been a pacifist at heart, and never truly enjoys the violence he is forced to partake in for the greater good. His sister Nezuko is poisoned by Gyutaro's venomous blades and falls to the ground. After getting beat up and tossed around, Tanjiro gives Gyutaro a nasty headbutt while stabbing him with a poisoned kunai. Tanjiro then swings his fiery blade down onto the demon's neck, but it wasn't enough to sever it. The fight continues with the help of Uzui, and Tanjiro takes another swing of rage at the demon's neck. Tanjiro's curse mark manifests with his hair looking like waves of dancing flames as he slices off Gyutaro's head. The visuals and sound effects are so intense, it had me at the edge of my seat. Not only did we learn to never mess with Nezuko, we got to see the next stage of Tanjiro as a powered-up sun breather. We're halfway through our list, and if you really want raging steam blowing out of your ears, stick around to watch our number 2 favorite. What would you do if you weren't even given the opportunity to fight for your family?
Come on, Dimple. You expect me to believe that?
Number 5 shows that life happens quickly, and sometimes you just can't be prepared for what's tossed your way. It seems to be another interesting day in Mob's life, starting with a relaxing atmosphere and fun character building. Mob returns home to find his house engulfed in flames and concerned neighbors standing around watching. He goes swimmingly through the stages of grief as he walks directly into the flames of his burning home. Looking for any sign his family is still alive, he tries to rationalize with himself, saying, "They are too careful and responsible to let this happen." He walks into the bedroom upstairs and finds them stacked together burning in the fire. Mob loses his mind, and the power levels we usually see are off the charts, sending him into a horrific burst of extreme anger. Dimple calms Mob down, letting him know they are dummy bodies, and Mob returns to being level-headed as he sheds tears, being thankful. Number 4, Guts vs. Griffith. Speaking of shock value in anime, take a look at Berserk, an old but gold classic, still held fondly in people's hearts today. A very memorable scene from the anime is Guts' clash with Griffith. Guts' comrades were brutally slaughtered, and Griffith took everything from him. With only one eye, he's forced to watch the love of his life, Casca, be tormented. Rage flowed through the blood in his veins as he ached to fight Griffith with years of pent-up anger. Just before he could move, Guts is bitten and restrained by a demon. Using his broken sword, he cuts through his own arm in an attempt to save Casca. Sadly, he fails, being restrained once again, and Griffith continues his nasty deed. Casca was deeply affected by this and ended up losing her sanity. Even though Guts couldn't save Casca, he showed a man's determination for vengeance, and thoughts of self-preservation completely left his mind. Number 3. Yuji Itadori is a classic shonen protagonist who wears his heart on his sleeve and a constant smile on his face. Even in most tense situations, he still tries to remain cool and calm. This wasn't the case when he lost his dear friend Jinpei after Mahito killed him and turned his soul into a transfiguration right before his very eyes, forcing Yuji's usual smile to be replaced with a cold stare of grief and rage. The aura around him alone is enough to convey the change in his demeanor when he states his intent to kill. With no real strategy in mind and thirsty for revenge, his fists clench in a vice death grip, rushing at Mahito and unleashing wild punches. This moment marks one of the first of many times when Yuji loses someone precious to him, and is the beginning of his character's true growth as a jujutsu sorcerer. It drove him forward to beat Mahito, and pushed him to work harder to keep his friends safe. Our number 2 spot has to be one of the fiercest battles we have ever encountered, with 2 monstrous titans going all out, trying to spill each other's blood. Eren's brawl with Annie was both animalistic and passionate. You could feel the emotions as they destroyed all the city's buildings and everything in their path. Annie repetitively bashes Eren's head in, and then he goes ballistic, chasing after Annie with screams so loud they could make your ears bleed. He was so angry that we saw his titan's muscles heat up and excrete fire. Annie becomes defensive. Realizing Eren was overpowering her in strength, he tries to eat Annie and bites off her nape, exposing her true body within. A great deal of power was demonstrated in this fight, seeing Eren's massive desire to kill every last subject of Ymir and to destroy the world. Finally, what you've all been waiting for. Our most emotional rage moment in all of anime has to be Hyakimaru's ruthless slaughter after the killing of his lover Mio. Hyakimaru screams in agony when he hears Mio sing her last breath. Unable to control his emotions, he cuts down every soldier surrounding him like it's a dance of death. His movements were fluid and unstoppable. Dororo can't bear to watch and cries silently while hugging Mio's lifeless body. Blood is splattered everywhere as Hyakimaru brutally slices them to bits with the swords embedded in his arms. It's a touching, heartbreaking scene that brings many to tears from the depth of its rawness and Hyakimaru's pain, earning the #1 spot on our list as the most emotional rage moment in anime. There you have it, 10 emotional rage-filled moments. Some were blind rage, while others would bring a tear to your eye. Which one was your favorite? Comment down below and tell me if you would like to see any particular rage moment in the next video. Don't forget to like and subscribe to this channel for more exciting anime videos. Thanks for watching.